What's up, gamers? Welcome to Screen Smash, CouchSoup's one and only video game podcast. I'm your host, Dan Morris. Joining me this evening, I have Jake Brown.
Yo, yo, yo.
And I also have Louis Reza.
Sí, huevo. I will help you. Antonio Banderas.
Nice.
I'm sick, so I have a little bit of a rasp. I can do Antonio Banderas very well now. It's okay. Sí, huevo.
I need a weapon.
I will help you.
Louis is now on Cameo.
You're welcome.
I'm okay with that. And that's what happens.
Trying really hard to not go off on a tangent about what's something else that reminded me of. We're going to move on to our topics for this evening because tonight we're going to talk about all the big games that are coming out this month for the month of 2024, March. Doing it like the UK backwards, maybe. Anyways, there's some big games that came out this month, but we're going to maybe do a quick little round of like what you've been playing, plus what might you want to play this month, whether you're going to or not. Let's just talk about, the ones we may or may not get into. Plus, I want to talk about crossplay because I'm a little heated about games not having crossplay, and I think it needs to become an industry standard. So let's roll right into the games of March 2024, and also maybe a little bit of what we've been playing. Big games this month already. We've got the new Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Louis, can't little iffy about that, I assume.
I need thoughts on that.
I am not going to make that video game a $700 purchase. Okay, I can't justify getting a PS5. Even if it's for Rebirth, and I'm not joking. I did consider it. I was like, what's the return policy? How long will it?
Can you rent a PS5?
PS4, that's right.
Yeah, it's PS5 only.
It's just PS5.
It's PS5 only. It will eventually go to all platforms.
Yeah, it'll get ported to PC at least, maybe next year.
And so I'm like trying so hard to not look at any spoilers or anything, and I already saw a couple of things where I'm like,
I still haven't played the first one. I need to. Like I really have been kind of like amping myself up to like purchasing it. And then like when Dan was sharing a bunch of like stuff about what the game is worth nowadays. Yeah. I was like, oh man. I was like, I kind of want to pull the trigger and buy it at least digitally and try it out.
There was a bundle too. Like you can buy the new game and the old game together at a discounted price. I don't know if they still have that now, but yeah, the Final Fantasy VII, I only just beat that like a few months ago. I want to say like maybe back in November or October, I finally beat it. I'm not in a rush to play Rebirth because I waited this long to play 7 Remake. I got 7 Remake on the PS5 on sale for like $40, and now it's going for over $100 for some reason. But
crazy.
Yeah, we don't always get to play all the latest releases here on Screen Smash because, this is more of this is a hobby. We are just passionate gamers. We don't get to just scoop up every single game that comes popping out left and right. But there's a lot of big games that are coming out this month. Is there any guy that you guys know that you're wanting to play or may play?
So I'm actually looking forward to the New Game Plus of Spider-Man 2 that comes out on the 8th, I believe.
Okay.
Another one.
Are they adding new trophies?
Thanks, Jake.
I don't know, but
they're going to take away your platinum?
Well, no, the platinum will stay.
True.
But it's got the little bonus thing. It's Xbox that irks me with that. That's a whole nother conversation. No, but it's like another
Xbox takes it away when they add?
Right,
you lose your percentage.
Xbox has percentages, so you have 100%. So if DLC comes out for a game, like 100% of the new Saints Row,
down.
And then as soon as the DLC came out with more achievements, I was down to like 70%. That irks me to death because I'm like, very rarely, depending on the game, will I go back and play the DLC. So I kind of just have to sit with the frustration of knowing that's not going to be 100%.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, I think they're adding New Game Plus, like level select, and a few different costumes. I feel
select.
like to where you can go back and play, certain levels. I don't want to spoil it. There's certain levels I wanted to replay, but I'm like, I'm not going to replay the entire game to get to that point.
True.
But I kind of, unless there's more to it, and I'm just kind of blanking, it kind of seems a little underwhelming because I'm like, a lot of the stuff I feel like should have been at launch. And so I kind of expect at least like a DLC by now. I mean, the game's been out for what, 6 months almost?
Has it been that long?
It was like September. It was like September, October, somewhere around there. It's been out for a while, and it's like I was kind of hoping we had some type of DLC, kind of like the first one had.
I mean, I kind of assume it'll get a DLC, but that stuff usually takes at least a year, give or take, depending.
Well, depending, I guess, on what game. But I mean, like, I'm excited to jump back into it. Like, I've been itching to go back into it, but now I actually have a reason. And, you know, you get all your abilities over in New Game Plus, and just, I'm sure there'll be trophies with it. It'll give me something to do. But other than that, another game I might pick up this month is the WWE 2K24.
Oh, really?
I've kind of dropped off the wrestling games over the past few years. I think I did pick up last year's, which I kind of enjoyed. They're never going to be as good as like the old school PS2 days where it was more arcadey. Those are so much fun. Last year's that had John Cena on the cover. This one right here, you see him? You see him?
Did anybody else hear that when he said the name? I heard it.
John Cena.
John Cena. John
They
Cena.
give me flashbacks to the old days of like NFL Blitz, when NFL Blitz was the game to play rather than like Madden or anything else.
I liked NFL Street.
That was good too. I like the NBA Street back in the day as well.
Unless I'm blanking on any other new games. I mean, like I would like to do Rebirth, but I need to play the first one first. But I don't know how long that'll take me to go through, to be honest, because I heard that game's pretty long.
I mean, at least Remake is short, as it's a confined experience if you're not including like Rebirth on top of it. And I know I felt like it took me a good while to get through Remake. It was probably a good 40 hours ish, something along those lines. I mean, Louis can speak obviously to that at length, and he has already a lot. So moving on. Is there any games?
I don't. There's nothing much that I'm thinking about. Like the only thing I can think about right now, I am currently playing Control. I'm almost finished with it. It is so goddamn good. I hate that I sat on it for so long, but I waited for it so that I could beat Alan Wake 1, then play Control, and then get Alan Wake 2. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking about. But I just spent a bit of money on a bunch of stuff because it was all on sale, like Ghost Runner 2. So my back catalog is starting to finally catch up. But yeah, I don't know what's coming out. All I can think about is Final Fantasy, and they don't have it.
The dog's like, oh no, what's wrong?
Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. I love you.
Oh, so if we're talking about games we've been playing, I've actually been playing a few games. So I've been kind of going back and playing some older games I've missed out on. Oh, Dan's showing off the Halo. Oh, I wanted to play Halo Wars 2. I was looking at it and I was like, do I want to? But that kind of fits in perfectly. Like it may or may not, but because I never played it. But like the whole point was like I was going back and playing games like I kind of missed out on that I heard was really good. And at one point, like I did want to try and play it, but I never did. So I played 2 games over the past few weeks. So the first one was Inside. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is exactly so like it's the same people who made Limbo. And I was like, this is like exactly like Limbo. I love this game. This is awesome. Perfect. I stayed up all night and beat it. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. Creepy as hell, like thinking about it. And like the ending, I was like, what?
Yeah, it's a massive mind fuck.
I was like, what the heck is this? And then I guess it's got like an alternate ending. Like I wasn't going to go back through it and get everything, so I just YouTubed it. You know, say what you want. Yell at me in the comments. I don't care.
I got a great breakdown video by a guy that I plug a lot on this show. He should probably give me some money. I don't know. Super average.
No, so like I love that game. That game was a lot of fun.
Sorry.
But the other one I tried before, and I kind of fell off of it pretty quick after like the first hour, but I went back to it. I started playing Tunic. And I was like, oh my God. So like I made it a few hours in, and because I think I just got lost originally. And like once I kind of like found out where to go, it like everything clicked, and I was super hooked. And so it took me a few days, but I went through it and I beat it. And that's another game that's kind of like, what the heck? Like the ending, I was like, what is this?
Yeah,
Tunic's so cool.
Nuts.
And both games, the cool thing about both those games is it's like there's like no talking, there's no audio, like everything's just told throughout the world, and I love those type of games.
I love games like that. I think that's actually some of the best games gaming in general. Like I don't think a game needs a lot of narrative. And like another example is Cocoon. There is no talking. There is no tutorial. It's just it's all intuitive gameplay, and it's all just figuring it out as you go. And I think that makes some of the best games out there. Like I think about this all the time when I'm playing a game, and I think about how some of my favorite games have like the least amount of narrative. And then when I play a game that's got like uber long cutscenes, I'm like bored.
See, that's one of the things about Control that I'm starting to kind of find. I love that it's more of a book than it is anything else. There's so much lore. There's so many things to pick up and read. But like yesterday, I was running late for something because that's what I always do. And I was like, I'm playing it. I'm like, okay, next save point, and then I'm out. And I caught like a small stint where it's like 12 things. And I'm like, if I don't read them now, I'm never going to come back and read them. So I'm sitting there going like speed reading and doing everything I can. It's great. The lore is fantastic. And I happen to get to the point where it's telling you about what happened with Alan Wake, the only crossover point for that whole game, both games. And I wanted to take it all in, but there's sometimes it's kind of like, okay, all right, pull back a bit. Like I've read at least 10,000 pages in this game so far, but it is really good. It really is worth it. It feels like reading a book that you get to play and shoot a bunch of people in the face. It's awesome. But every once in a while, I'm kind of like, I just want to shoot things and then go to the next shoot things. That's all.
Now, in retrospect, too, like I still enjoy games that have narrative, especially when the narrative is really good. Like Baldur's Gate 3 totally hooked me. I can't get enough of the characters. I can't get enough of the cutscenes. I can't get enough of the dialogue and everything that you can do in that game and the way the characters interact. When it's good, and I can sit there and I'll just soak it all in. But other games, it's kind of like, whatever, I don't care. Like, whatever, let's go. Like, it's sometimes the narratives
it's just
are
filler.
Just, meh. All right.
But when you can tell too, when it was kind of phoned in, like, we made a game. Here it is. I'm like, oh,
cool.
That sucks.
I want to touch on something I've been playing, but I also want to do like a quick rundown of some of the bigger games that are coming out this month, especially like I'm going to shout out Unicorn Overlord because I did play the demo and it's one of those games where it's a lot of narrative, but I found myself fascinated with what was happening. And then I realized like, oh, this is a strategy game, almost kind of like old school, like Advance Wars. I've heard it compared to Ogre Tactics, which I've never personally played. And I was like, okay, I see what this game is doing. I like it. No idea if I'm going to be able to fit it in my schedule. So it's like, but the other big one that I wanted to mention, well, the big ones I've already talked about at length on this show is Dragon's Dogma 2 and Rise of the Ronin, both coming out this month on the same day. That's going to suck for me. Dragon's Dogma is a given. I'm absolutely getting Dragon's Dogma on the day it comes out because I've been waiting for that game for years, at least a decade at this point, and have been asking for it for a long time. So yeah, that's definitely going to be a big game for me this month. I need to talk about Star Wars Battlefront, but I'm going to bring that later.
Ooh, that's another one. But yeah, no. I slipped my mind. Yeah, okay.
Battlefront we'll save for later because there's that relates to the later topic. So before we get into that, quick rundown, some of the stuff I've been playing. I've been playing a lot of Halo, mostly because I've been also doing the Halo podcast over on the Watching Now side of things. And I've been taking in as much of the lore to like refresh my brain on all the Halo-ness because I haven't been like, it's been years since I've played. I haven't played Halo 4 since it launched. I haven't played Halo 5 since it launched campaign wise. I've been playing the multiplayer like crazy, but the campaign I haven't played in ages. So it's like there's little tendrils of the story that relate to those newer games as well as the lore from the old games and the books. I've been revisiting Metroid Prime again because it's just a beautiful game, and I've just been fascinated with retro games as of late. So I've been doing a lot of like comparing the remaster of Metroid Prime to the original game. So I'm making my way through Metroid Prime again on hard now, and it's like, this game's so good. It's so good. It's so good. I love it. I can't get enough of it. I've got like the theme music stuck in my head all day. And lately, I've also been blasting through some Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 3. I went back and replayed through Resident Evil 4 twice, and I got the achievement for beating the game in under 5 hours, which I never thought was possible because it took me 24 hours to beat the game the first time.
Holy cow.
And now I'm doing kind of the same thing with Resident Evil 3, where I went back and I'm just like, blitzing through Resident Evil 3, which I now realizing how short that game is because you could beat that game in less than 2 hours. It's nuts.
If you know what you're doing, yeah.
Yeah, especially
so I have a chance of beating it.
yeah. When you know what you're doing and when you unlock like the unlimited ammo weapons and you're just hosing everything to death. Or I'm working on getting the rocket launcher so I can just blast my way through. So yeah.
I saw you were playing Dead Island 2, right?
Yes. Brandy and I started playing Dead Island 2 because it's on Game Pass now, and so far so good. We put a couple of hours into it. It's got that thing where the beginning is all hard tutorial and you can't play that together co-op, even though the game is like, oh, you played the whole campaign co-op, but you can't play the first missions. So yeah, but then we were able to co-op and we were having a lot of fun with it. It is just like Dead Island 1, but with massive improvements. So it looks and feels like the old original Dead Island, but way better. Like it plays better. It's a lot smoother. The weapons are really cool. It's very Dead Rising, where you can like mix and match mods and make the weapons have all kinds of crazy perks. And then the flesh system in the game is freaking brutal. Like I found some like Wolverine claws, and you can like punch and stab with, and then you can do a finishing move where you literally punch through a zombie's face and it leaves just a gaping hole in their skull. I'm like, all right, this is perfect for what it is. It's good. I'm enjoying it, but we didn't play much yet.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the first one, but I think I played too much Left 4 Dead to where when I transitioned, I thought it was going to be like a little bit updated version of that.
Well, it's very much an RPG before anything else. So
yeah. So I don't know. So I need to probably clear my mind of that if I try the second one.
Dead Island 2
it looks fun.
It's good. It's fun, and it's funny too. Like one of the first bosses in the game is an undead bride, but she's really big and like jacked, and she's like Hulk, and she's like, "Roar!" And it's like, but she's like wearing the wedding gown. It's so stupid. It's great.
I haven't played them. I watched a friend play it, and I was like, that's too much stuff for me. Yeah, it's one of those open world where I'm just kind of
a little too overwhelmed.
Is it drop in, drop out co-op though? Like,
I think it is. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the world in Dead Island doesn't feel. It's not open world. That's for sure. It's got like sections that you move through. In Dead Island 2, at least. Dead Island 1 was a kind of mostly open world, but like not like Dying Light. Dying Light was a big open world. You can go anywhere, kind of thing.
Yeah, I played Dying Light. I got
that's when I was disappointed with
in the beginning part, but that was it.
Right at the beginning, and then as it went on, I didn't care for it throughout. Sadly,
the beginning is really good. It did hook me too. Yeah,
I want to play more Dying Light too, but Dead Island 2 so far is pretty good. I like it. All right, let's move on to our main topic for the evening, and that is crossplay should be a standard. And by that, if you don't know, crossplay is the ability for players on different platforms to be able to play together, no matter what platform they're on, whether PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, all of it. But I can't believe that here we are in 2024 and games are releasing without crossplay. And the reason I mention this, the reason I'm bringing this up, the reason why this is our topic tonight is because I found out that the new Star Wars Battlefront collection does not have freaking crossplay, and I think it's ridiculous.
Boo.
The game releases on March 14th, which is only a few days from now, and that's coming out on all platforms. It's going to be on the Switch, the PC, PlayStation, and Xbox, but it will not have crossplay. And I think this is just an atrocity of gaming, of like, come on, you're giving me two of the classic, like all-time most well-known Star Wars online battle games. You're remaking it for modern consoles with modern technologies and upgrades and things. I mean, it's not a huge visual overhaul or anything. It's just like the old games with now new online components. So you can play it online, but you can't play with your friends on other platforms. And that to me is just...
Yeah, for sure. But like, is there any reason why? Like, have they come forward and like said why not, or just...
I couldn't find anything when looking into it. I assume, as usual, development type deals go, it's probably just not a priority for the studio to make the games crossplay. Like I also put in my notes here, Remnant 2 only just got crossplay, and that game's been out since August. So that shipped without crossplay, but they added it. So it was there. They're able to do it. It just took them time to implement. So hopefully Star Wars does the same thing.
But hopefully will still be relevant by the time they do it. That's the issue I think they face.
I mean, the one good thing going for Battlefront is it's a beloved classic, but it's still to be seen how it'll hold up in like the modern market. I know for, say, myself and Brandy loves the new Battlefronts, and we play Battlefront 2 all the time. So she's actually really excited to go back and play the old originals, even though she's never played them before, and they're a new experience for her. So it's like, okay, cool. I'm excited. And this $35 for the package deal, you get both the first and the second game. And I haven't really played the originals. I only kind of dipped my toe in them back in the day. So I'm looking forward to playing it. I'm looking forward to being able to, play it online with my friends, get achievements or trophies wherever you're playing. Especially like Jake, if you have any passing interest in that game, because you're like, oh, I forgot about Star Wars. It's like, oh, let's roll. Let's go, blast some droids.
So like, I don't know too much about it. Like I am interested in it because like I have played. I think I played more of the first one than I did the second one when I was younger, when it was released on the PS2. They're both
basically the same game.
But like, so is the only like new feature to it is just the online? Like, is there anything different? Because I think they're always on sale on like the Xbox store for like $3 a game. So I could pay $7, or like, am I paying $30 just for the online?
I think I'm sure they're going to update it a bit.
It's got like updated resolution, but it's not updated like graphics or anything. They didn't remake it. It's just it's a port, essentially, the original games with some modern things. Mind you, this is Aspyr that's doing this. A studio which to me is synonymous with bad, lazy ports.
Oh, no.
They've done all of the other Star Wars ports. They've done like Republic Commando. They've done the pod racing game. They just did the Tomb Raider. They did the Tomb Raider remaster,
You know what? I rescind my optimism. I'm sorry. No, it's going to suck. Don't buy it, Jake.
Jedi Power Battles.
The PS1
Love
game?
that game. Oh my God. Yeah, it was a PS1.
The PS1. I have that game. It's on my shelf behind me, and I love that game. So I'm like, oh, core memory unlocked.
Oh, dude, that game was so much fun.
So good.
Especially because it's 2-player. And,
yeah. Okay, like that's what we need then. We need that so Jake and I can play online. That's what you guys need.
Yes.
Because like that was one of the best Star Wars games for blocking, like where you can do like the block and like reflect the laser blast back at the droids. Oh, it was so good.
Such a good game.
It's good.
See, I got into Battlefront when it was on PSP. That was amazing. Was that like
Rogue Squadron or something? I think it was. No.
It was actually Battlefront. It was a PSP port of Battlefront.
No, I'm trying to remember the name. It was Battlefront something. Because I remember it's got like the biker guy's face on it, like the speed biker guy. I could be wrong. I know what you're talking about. I'm trying to remember the name of it.
Well, you had a sub name, Battlefront.
It had a sub name to it. It was Battlefront something. Don't worry about it. I'll look it up.
I am so confused right now. Anyway,
he's like, they made more than one.
There was a I just remember playing Yoda because he was tiny and it was cute and he killed the hell out of everybody and throw the lightsaber. He was more brutal than anybody. And then when Battlefront 2 came out, man, that thing went through so many changes, so many things. And then the way that they updated, I'm not crazy about where it is right now. It's wonderful, but man, it just changed so much. And
are you talking about the current Battlefront?
Yeah, Battlefront 2.
Like the newer, modern Battlefront.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the one that you and I played together.
Gotcha.
Like I love that. I love it, but like I can't stand that you can like update your guy, make him stronger, because now the people who get to play it all the time and get really good at it, like I have no chance against them.
Oh yeah, the servers are wonk in that game, and it's impossible to play a newer player against the people who've been playing the game since release, because for some reason, if they're playing legitimately at all, if they're not hacking, they're somehow uber powerful and basically unkillable.
Yeah, like I'll go up against a Darth Vader who's Darth Vader for like the entirety of the game, and I finally get Luke, and I'm like, yeah, all right, get ready. Dead.
So, by the way, the name of the game was Battlefront Renegade Squadron for the PSP. Came out on October 9th, 2007. Dang.
Dropping some facts.
I still have no idea. I played a Battlefront game. It was on PSP.
Well, you said PSP. I think that was the only one, if I'm not mistaken. That's the only one I don't think I have played.
Yeah. Anyways, like I even booted up the original Battlefront 2 on my Xbox because I own the original for Xbox, and I've never played it, honestly. But I booted it up and I started playing it, and I had that moment too. I'm like, should I just play this? Because if you play the backwards compatible version of Battlefront 1 or 2 on the Xbox right now, it's presented in full widescreen. It's like it feels like a new-ish game. It doesn't have trophies, and I'm pretty sure the online doesn't work. So you can't do online battles, which is a big chunk of the game. But I was able to do like the campaign mission. I was able to play through the tutorial mission, and then I played one of the campaign missions. I was like, oh, this is good. This is fun. I know what I'm getting into when the new pack comes out. And it made me excited to play it. I hope it's going to have a little bit more visual love. I hope they at least gave it some polish. But also, I'm still going to have fun with the game, just playing it online and be able to, have fun blasting droids, because I enjoy those kind of games. And if I can get achievements while I'm at it, extra icing on the cake. But I would also like to be able to play that game with my friends who are playing on PC or PlayStation. That's my beef.
Yeah. Sorry, Louis.
I don't. Okay, we've discussed this before. I do not understand that not every online game has crossplay. Like, unless you're like a starting up studio that has a really, really independent game. Okay, that I'll forgive you. But what? Like, it's you're losing so much money there. There's no. I don't understand how it works. So it's not like, I don't know. I think it's easy. Like, if one game could do it, they can all do it. That's absolutely not true. I could just be a complete idiot. But I don't understand it. And if they can at least, I mean, this is a major game. This is a huge thing coming out. But like I said, it's also from a studio that is so I don't know. I'm kind of like digging my own grave and then like jumping out of it really quick. They're like, no. I don't know. But I want all games, especially ones that are like entirely based on this exact premise, to be crossplay. If you can't, then don't make it, because why else? That's never mind.
Well, I had that same.
I'm kind of confused.
I had that issue with the Aliens Fire Team when they came out too. That didn't have crossplay, and I'm like, this is a game that should absolutely have crossplay. And I don't even know if they ever added crossplay to the game. I should double check. It only just pops back in my head now, so I can double check.
Yeah, so like I'm the majority for crossplay. Like, yes, I think it should be included, but I think it should also be a choice for competitive. Because
absolutely.
That's
certain games, I feel like, and it's just me, I feel like mouse and keyboard has the advantage. And yes, I know like you can play mouse and keyboard on Xbox, but most of the people that I know don't play mouse and keyboard on their Xbox. They use the controller. But like, I think the odds of coming up against PC players on those games will be. I hate it. I don't like it. Like, because like Halo, for example, like aiming's regular on a controller, but I feel like when you have a freaking mouse in your hand, you can just like the tiniest little twitch of your wrist and boom, headshot, boom, headshot, boom, headshot.
Yeah. I feel there's a bit of a trade-off, but yeah, people on a mouse are usually a little bit more have better reflexes.
Better reactions, reflexes. But like, if it was an option, I would prefer that. But then again, I also understand like you have to split servers at that point. And if it's like a dying game, maybe then put them together, possibly. But I'm all for like PvE, like cooperative crossplay, like no question. Like I want to be able to play like horde mode type games, wave based games.
Well, it's like Remnant.
Friends.
Remnant is a PvE experience at its core. That should definitely have crossplay.
All for it.
It's like Fireteam Elite, like I was just talking about. That does have crossplay now. It has been enabled since the game launched, but that was another game that's like, this should be crossplay so that people can play it together, and you don't have to worry about the competitive side like you're talking about, like with Halo. Because Halo, you can get people who are mouse and keyboard playing with people with controller. And then everybody just. Or then it's like you get to the point where you're worried that people are using like aim bots and stuff in those kind of games.
Well, that's a big thing. Like I yes, mouse and keyboard is very superior as far as like, being able to look around really quick and all of that. But the movement aspect is not where it's at. That's definitely easier on the controller, just being able to move dynamically and all of that. So they have, I mean, the mouse and keyboard is always going to beat it because the whole point of it is being able to look very easily. And, like when I play when I play FPS games, I definitely use my mouse and keyboard. That is not even a question. I'm not even going to look at my controller. But whenever I play anything else, I prefer the controller just because it's so much better. Not to mention I have this ridiculous bad boy. That's the Elite.
Ooh,
it is. Oh, it is so good. It's not worth that price, Xbox. It is not worth it, but it's good. It's a very good. Make it like $100 cheaper, please. Jesus Christ. But yeah, like
it's cheaper than it was. So
that's
the
I did
Elite
get it
2?
used. Yeah. This is the Elite 2. This is the brand new badass boy.
I have the Elite 1.
Like I can go on like those commercials where it's like that model that's like out of here or whatever. I could do that kind of stuff. Just like, Xbox Elite 2. I don't know, but Prestige. There you go. Yeah. Those are so stupid. But like I it just depends on how you want to play the game too. So I see what you're saying, and I'm wondering like when you go on to like the different servers, because they do separate the servers anyway. So if you're getting into like the competitive servers, maybe that could be where that cutoff is, where it's like you can only play with people on PlayStation, you can only play with people on Xbox. That'd be very interesting,
or at least like a prompt of like, hey, you're aware you're going to be playing with people that can play on mouse and keyboard. Are you okay with this? And you have to opt in. Essentially,
because I mean, like even Call of Duty has people on the phone playing on your team, and it's kind of like you're thinking like Rick, God damn it, get in there! Like it's because he's on a phone, and that's the only means he has to play it. And so
it's like same with like Fortnite, like people play on their phones. Like you have people playing on a freaking potato, and then you have people playing on PC with all this high specs and whatnot. But I just hate when it's forced competitive crossplay. I want an option. Other than that, I'm all for it, 100%.
Well, maybe that's why it takes them a little while to implement. Then, if we're going to give them a little credit here, so okay, sure, there's a little extra involved, and if you're going to enable crossplay, there has to be certain elements that you have to consider and weigh. And like you said, if it's forced, it's gonna be like, well, this is just dumb now. And I mean, even now, like I'm playing Helldivers 2, and I play on PC, Brandy's on the PS5, and it'll say like, do you want to play crossplay? And I'm like, yeah, I want to play crossplay. But even when I'm playing on the PC, I'm still using a controller because that's what feels right to me playing that game.
But correct me if I'm wrong. That game is cooperative, right?
It's a PvE co-op game.
So I don't even know why they would ask that then. Like they have no advantage over you, right? Like.
Not that I can think of. No, I mean, even to this day, when I've had it before where I was playing Helldivers and the controller battery died on me. And I was like, shit. And then I'm like, screw it. I just have to go mouse and keyboard because it's the best, quickest option I have. And I had no idea what buttons to press. So I ran around like dying because I didn't know which buttons to press on mouse and keyboard. I was like, shit. So it didn't work out so well.
Get them next time.
But just no matter what, I think any online game, PvE, well, I should say PvE especially, crossplay should be a normal thing, especially because here's the other thing. Louis, you were talking about money before. They're probably banking on suckers like me who will buy the game on multiple platforms to play with my friends because I've done that many, many times.
So you're the reason.
But I'm the reason too. I've done it. I do it all the time. There's people who are loyal to their console and will not play a game with you unless
even if they have the other console, they won't buy it for the other console.
See, we're talking about this kind of stuff. I'm an idiot because I bought Final Fantasy VII, the remake, immediately when it came out. I was there at midnight, tried it out on my PS4, got a PC, and then bought it for the PC the day it came out. So I bought that bitch twice at 70. I can't talk.
I have Star Wars Battlefront 2 on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. I didn't buy it necessarily for all of them. I think the PlayStation version might have been a PS Plus game at one point. I bought the Xbox One, and then Star Wars on the PC was a Epic Games like giveaway. But there are games that I've bought on multiple platforms for the sake of playing with friends. So like I have Borderlands 2 and 3 on Xbox and PlayStation just so I can play with my friends on those platforms. I've got Avengers on both platforms to play with my friends. You know, like I bought those games. Like
I bought that game specifically on PlayStation for two reasons. One, because Spider-Man was exclusive. But two, I had friends who were like, yeah, we'll play it when you get it. Game came out. I'm the sucker that pre-ordered it digitally. Nobody else picked it up. So I was just sitting there with it and going, okay, I guess I'll make it through the campaign. And then nobody ever bought the game. So I have it. But I did buy it on Xbox just because of the fact that it was getting delisted. And I was like, I want to have it for both. But same with Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. I bought it for PlayStation to play with my friends. And I also have a copy on the Xbox, which I 100%ed. I platinumed on PlayStation, but I wanted 100% on Xbox, but it hasn't happened yet because no people to play with.
Granted, there are some games that I love so much that I might buy them on both platforms just for the sake of playing it again and or getting like double dipping on achievements or trophies just because I love the game that much. Like, I mean, it doesn't count when you're talking about like a single player game, but there are some of those games that I'm like, I own many copies of like OG Resident Evil 4 because I love that game, so I keep buying it. We have multiple copies of Hogwarts. We have the Xbox version and the PlayStation version because somebody likes Hogwarts a little too much. But yeah, like there's some games that I will get it for the other platform just for the joy of playing in the game, like for the first time again, in a sort of way.
I'll do that a lot, but with mostly older games, and when they go on sale for like $5, I'm like, I can do that.
So when you're saying go ahead.
I have a few multi games that are both on Epic and on Steam, just so I could double up on the achievements and just be like, oh, it's like the first time I ever played it, but I know what the hell I'm doing, so I feel like a badass. And then there's I don't know. Like sales really get me, man. They
I feel you. 100% feel you. No, when Dan was sitting there saying though that you own multiple of the same game, I'm assuming you meant for other consoles, not the same console itself. Like I own the same game multiple times. Sometimes. Because I'm that guy. One of these days I need to show you all, but I must own like 8 copies of Gears of War 2. I walked into GameStop one day and they were like $2 each. I said, God, I can't do this.
I can't leave these here abandoned.
I can't leave these here. This was
like go to my home.
This was like 7 years ago. So I bought it. I come home, my wife's like, why do you need this many? I was like, well, why not? And
what if one breaks?
Lo and behold, though, if you look at the price of Gears of War 2 now, it's gone up. And I like to think that I did that. So you're welcome.
Well, you contributed, absolutely.
I mean, I have multiple copies of some games on the same platform, either for something similar to like that, or sometimes I'll buy lots of games, like like a sales lot where they're selling just a bulk of here's a bunch of games for one low price, and I'm like, sure, whatever. So I get like multiple copies of like Call of Duty 2 and Call of Duty 3 because everyone fracking has that game. So I've got like multiple copies of like Mass Effect on the original Xbox, or I have multiple copies of Gears of War. I actually bought the Gears of War triple pack from a thrift store a few months ago, just because I'm like, there's Gears of War. It was in mint condition too. I'm like,
nothing is worse than, you know what? I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to get this game, and then during the holiday season, Epic goes, hey, by the way, Merry Christmas. Here's this game for free. I'm like,
for real, man.
2 months ago, bitch.
But I'm that sucker who has to like, I'm sure Dan does this too in some ways. Like I get the Steelbook, even though I already have the game. Like let's say like if I have a game that just had the Steelbook,
I literally
will go
have
and buy
the Steelbook of Halo 2 and the actual Halo 2 up there together.
Like if I only own one and there's a different cover or something out there, when it goes on sale or gets cheaper, like I will buy it again. Like I have the Mass Effect like Steelbook, like you were talking about. Like I bought that well after I got the game, never touching it again. but just the fact that I can own it, heck yeah. Halo 4 Steelbook's the same way. Like if there's like a digital deluxe and it's got just a variant cover, it's literally just a piece of paper. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it at some point.
Well, sometimes those variants get worth a lot of money too because they become rare. So like that's my other thing too is I'm a collector.
As you find them, yeah.
So I will collect games, and sometimes I double purchase a game purely to have one to play and one to collect. Kind of, Yeah.
I mean that makes sense. Like here's an interesting concept. Sometimes I will buy a game simply to help out the studio.
Yeah.
Because I played Hi-Fi Rush and Guardians of the Galaxy off of Xbox because they were on they were free games, and then I loved them so much, but I also I'm a big people know I don't like exactly playing the Xbox games on the computer because they kind of really hold back a lot because of streaming. So I bought them to help out the studios. Number one, number two to see like what the difference would be. So I have Fury. I bought Fury off of my Switch at first, and then I heard that there's little tiny differences, but there are differences between that and the other ports. So I got it also off of Steam. Again, it was on sale anyway, and you can tell the differences in certain kinds of stuff. Like now that I bought both Guardians and Hi-Fi Rush off of Steam, I could put the graphics a lot higher. I'm getting a lot more frame rate coming back to me. It feels like a better game than when you're streaming it. So, I could see something like that. But then there's also that dumb thing where I'm like, well, I just beat it on PlayStation 4 and now I have a nice PC and I can make it look pretty. So I'm going to do it again. Yeah, whatever. Here's my credit card. Just, run wild. Yeah. Cool. Good luck.
So anyways, crossplay is good.
Yeah, crossplay.
Oh yeah, this was about crossplay, not double purchases, right?
Yeah. Well, double purchases because of the lack of crossplay.
I'm thinking of double purchasing Final Fantasy VII, the original one, on Xbox.
I have at least 7 copies of Final Fantasy VII, and I did that on purpose.
So now I didn't buy Final Fantasy VII on PS4. But I did buy it on Xbox. But I also still have my original PS1 copy of Final Fantasy VII too. But I would rather play the new HD port if I'm going to play it. I
loved playing it because playing on PS4 is the first time I've ever played the game. I never played it beforehand. God, I freaking fell in love with it. And I almost don't want for the longest time I didn't want to play the remake because I was like, I love this so much. What is wrong with this that it needs an upgrade?
It's perfect.
Nothing. That's how stories work.
It doesn't need change.
It's not that it needs anything. It's like when people would tell me they're no, you got to stick to the originals and stuff like that. I'm like, well, okay. So Romeo and Juliet, you don't need it to be redone for a newer modern audience.
Leave it at Romeo and Juliet, and that's it. I love that movie.
No, okay. You see, did that need the update?
Yes, it did.
That's 100%. How storytelling works. When you get a story that works really well, that is told very, very well, it's going to go through some changes. It's going to be updated a little bit sometimes. Hopefully, not too much. But I didn't like the way that the remake ended. But I am very interested to see what they do with it because, as a massive fan, I have no idea what's going to happen. It's the same thing with Resident Evil 4 remake. I have no idea what they're keeping, what they're taking out, all these things. It's wonderful. And so I'm very excited for it. But at the same time, it is kind of please don't mess it up. We were talking about Silent Hill 2 the last podcast I was on. I was like, no, this looks too fun. I don't want the fun. I want the ugly. I want to feel like I'm walking through.
I want to be miserable while I play this.
I want to hate myself and the developers so I can be like, they suck, but I love it.
So I think we made our point with crossplay and how every game needs to have crossplay now. I'm still going to be getting that Star Wars Battlefront collection when it comes out. Hopefully they do add crossplay in case Louis wants to play with us or anyone else I'm friends with that doesn't play on Xbox normally, so I don't have to keep rebuying a game a dozen times. But yeah, I think it just needs to be normal and standard now that games should just be a thing now. Because like I mean, it's been years. We were talking about crossplay 4 years ago when Sony was like, oh no, we don't want to. But then they finally like, okay, fine, and then they started making their games crossplay. And then everyone's like, okay, Sony, get on the bandwagon. Now it's like, okay, now the rest of the developers need to do the same thing of just make the games crossplay. Please.
Like, do you like happiness? Because this is what it is. This is happiness.
Yeah.
No, I like crippling depression.
No, they like money.
So with that, thank you, Jake, and thank you, Louis, for wonderful tangent-filled conversations this evening. A little bit of a shorter, sweeter screen smash for you all this tonight. I was trying not to say this evening again. I was going on 3 or 4, I think, at this point. Anyways, be sure to catch us over on the CouchSoup website as well as YouTube, where you can watch the show and you can listen to the show anywhere you listen to podcasts, everywhere, all over the places. And yeah, I think that's good. Crossplay, bring it and make it happen. Let's go play Star Wars or whatever that was.
John Cena, you'll see him. He's right there.
Case without a back cover art makes me sad.
It's right there.